welcome back to our 1890s home renovation. I feel like there's always one stage of the renovation that just doesn't seem to go your way. For us, it was the drywall stage. Today I'm sharing what went wrong, what we learned, and what we do differently next time. Now, if you're looking for a step-by-step tutorial for drywall, this is not the video for you. This was both Tyler and my first time hanging drywall, and it was the hardest part of the project so far. As I mentioned in the insulation video, the quirks of this home really showed through during drywall with uneven studs, the walls not being totally square, and the balloon framing. We had a heck of a time finding studs in the beginning. So our home's original walls were made of plaster and lath, which meant a lot of prep work before even starting drywall. Some of these walls were salvageable, some of them we had to put in completely new walls. One of the biggest issues was the uneven framing and the balloon framing on the edge of the walls. In this house, because it is like over 100 years old, the studs aren't always straight and it makes it really tricky to get the drywall to lay flat. We had a heck of a time finding studs in the beginning due to inexperience with marking the studs as we're installing drywall. This part of the process took us the longest, and it didn't help that my brother decided to keep all the specialty tools that my dad had for himself. But obviously we didn't know what we didn't know until he showed up with them after the project was about 75% complete. We also forgot to add blocking in some of the areas, which delayed the process as well. Now, Tyler did most of the ceiling work while I was at work, so again I got to show up to help as best I could after hours. Luckily, our kids were with their grandparents most of this week, so we could really push the work hours, allowing for late nights and early mornings. I didn't realize that shimming out studs was essential to get an even surface. Without that, drywall can bow or even have visible seams. Now, as my dad always says, it's only a rental, so we'll be making this drywall look as good as we can. If you're going to be hanging drywall, please do it with somebody else. And hanging drywall by yourself is no small feat. And Tyler did a majority of it on his own. And I do have to say, he did an amazing job. With that being said, I found drywall to actually be kind of relaxing, especially when I didn't rush and I double-checked my measurements multiple times. Slowing down made this process much more enjoyable. And as you know, I enjoy putsy projects like this, where I can just slow down, get into a rhythm, and truly putz along. This is one of my favorite parts of the process, where you can just find a process that works for you and hone in on it and make it the most efficient as possible. I love it. Now, we were trying to beat the snow, and clearly we did not. But this took multiple days, so let's head back inside and we'll see where we're at. This is probably like day 4 or 5. We've got a few rooms completed, the 2 bedrooms and the closets, and now we're working on the hallway, the bathroom, and the kitchen area. We also have this wall in the hallway leading to the bathroom that also needs to get finished. This has been probably the hardest part of this renovation, because you don't realize how long it actually takes to hang drywall. If you have the funds to hire it out, we highly suggest that you hire it out. It's not perfect, but we'll make it work. It's actually insane to me how putting drywall on your walls allows your eyes to rest and also just see what the space will look like, because we have been looking at exposed seams for so long. Now, as I am in this bathroom, I made a critical error when installing the plumbing. Rather than doing it vertically, I should have done it horizontally. And it is not ideal to have your plumbing come through the floor. This plumbing situation was unavoidable because of the floor joists downstairs. It's just what we had to do for this portion of time. It is not ideal. I know plumbing coming through the floor is not ideal. Ideally, it should come through your studs in your wall, and that was just not an option for us based on the floor joists in the lower floor. And at this point, we were too far along to fix it. I feel like I've said this in a previous video, but this renovation is all about learning for us so that we know how to do it better next time. And we are going to hit our heads a lot, and that was drywall for us. So if you're renovating an old home, expect drywall to take longer than you think, especially if you're dealing with uneven walls or large gaps like you see here. We had to go around and pre-fill a lot of the gaps that we had because of the unevenness in our walls and in the studs, where it just wasn't able to line up perfectly. Now you do not want to skip the prep work. Taking time to shim the studs, reinforce some weak areas, and check for insulation will make a huge difference in your work process, making sure that you add in blocking, drywall blocking, so that you don't have to take the time to do it when you're actually supposed to be drywalling. That is what Tyler's doing here. And most importantly, when you are working on drywall, you just need to be patient. Renovating an old home comes with challenges, but we know at the end of it, the end result is always worth it. Now, to be totally transparent, this drywall process really stressed our relationship and made us question whether renovating was even worth it. The doubts really crept in as we were drywalling, and we seriously wondered if we should have just hired it out. We had some very challenging moments, but I'm so proud that we pushed through, we made it work, and there is always power in forgiveness. fit it by myself. Horn's gotta come up. Money, 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 money. Where'd I put it? Alright. Tested it.
Oh, you already tested it?
Yeah, just a little bit needed to come out.
The stupid shirt doesn't have a pocket on it.
Ah.
Yeah.
You want me to hold it?
Ah, indeed.
You have a sweatshirt that does?
Yeah, but that'll be hot. I have a flannel. I can just have it open.
Oh, I suppose I could glue.
Yeah, the glue's in all of it.
scoot it this way. My way. Scoot it my way.
You like it?
Now I do. Now I totally need to give the biggest thank you shout out to my dad during this process, because we would have not gotten any of this done if it was not for him. He has drywalled professionally for years, and I'm just so thankful for his expertise and his willingness to teach us, because he has been he's been the best resource going through this renovation, and we are just so grateful to have him a part of the process. We really tried to have this done in order for him to just start taping, and that just wasn't the case, but he just stepped in and helped us, really taught us more about the better way to do things, which I'm so grateful for. Once we were done with installation phase of drywall, I was feeling so grateful for my dad's help, and for two, just having wall coverings on our walls, because it just made this whole renovation come to life in my mind. I could picture having the kitchen in here, I could picture making meals, and I could picture living life here, which is so exciting, and I just felt so grateful. There were a few tears shed, for sure. This is hard work, but I know that it will be worth it once we are done. Once we have moved out of here, I will be so grateful that we decided to take this on. This drywall process was definitely a learning curve, but now that it's done, we're so glad we pushed through. If you're working on an old home renovation, I'd love to hear what unexpected challenges you face. I'd love to know in the comments. In the next video, we'll be tackling the finishing process of mudding, taping, and sanding to get these walls looking their best. And if you've been enjoying this renovation series, be sure to check out our previous videos where we've tackled insulation, demo, and all the other surprises that an 1890s home has thrown our way. When we're not knee deep in renovations, I really try to live a slow and savory life while focusing on simple home rhythms, intentional living, decluttering, and creating a space that truly feels like home. That sounds like your thing? Be sure to check out the other videos on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you as we mud, tape, and paint. Bye!